Good morning and welcome to the Legit Real Estate Podcast. I'm TJ Chofi here, as always, with Holly Regoli. Holly, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. You look lovely this morning, Holly. What's
So we
what's
were just
going
saying,
on?
I have not finished getting ready yet because I'm just running around today. I gotta question your shirt. What you wearing over there?
We got superheroes today. So we got Captain America, and we got Iron Man, and we got Hulk, and we got Thor. And there's a quote on this shirt. And this morning I'm making the kids lunches, and I didn't realize, but this is the quote that's in the kids' bathroom with the same picture. So apparently, my T-shirt and the kids' bathroom poster are the same thing. Um, yeah, I got a day today. So we're not getting dressed for work today. We're grinding today at the house. We're grinding at the house. Um, I do want to thank the people that watched last week because we had thousands and thousands of views last week. And I was thinking about it, and I'm like, what was unique about last week? Oh, last week I was going through hell with a goddamn plumber and water coming down through the ceiling, and I'm glad that a lot of people found that interesting to watch me like suffer and go broke at the same time. That's what it
Yeah.
was.
So how did that end up turning out?
It turned out very expensive. It turned out I shouldn't say it was under $1,000, but it was big.
Not bad.
No, but that is only to stop the leak. Now I got to repair all the holes because the guy couldn't find it, so he kept making holes all the way up the wall. And then I'm gonna have to replace all the carpet downstairs. I got to scissor up some of the boards. I got to replace the ceiling. So the 1,000 was to stop the leak, and I'm looking at probably another 2 or 3,000 to get it back running, where it doesn't look like a housing project.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
now today,
Quite adds up.
yeah, today we're sitting in the car because sometime between 9 and 1, because they give you that generous window, these service people. I've got someone to fix the air conditioner in my house because one of my AC units went out, and last week we had 2 90-degree days, and it was excruciating.
So is this the one where you're actually going through your home warranty people for?
I didn't for either one of those. No, I went through the home warranty people on another property, and first time I used them, they were good. Then the tenants had another problem, and it was basically they cracked the toilet in half, which I don't even know how you crack a toilet in half. Like, I don't know. My grandmother's had the same toilet since I was a kid, and it's never cracked in half. That's like generations of people like using that bathroom, and the toilet's fine. But
Yeah.
these people cracked the toilet in half, and it was pretty much a regular plumber's cost to replace that, but which is okay. If I was a warranty company, I wouldn't cover something so stupid either. But I had a good experience with that. The first time I used them. Second time it was kind of like a regular service call.
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out, I was talking to my husband about it yesterday. I have a warranty through Lowe's on my dishwasher because I mean, I've had to call them every year since I bought the stupid dishwasher. I was like, I might as well extend it for another 5 years because if something ultimately happens where they have to replace the whole thing, it'll be covered under it. So I paid, it's like $100 a year for that, for just the dishwasher. But I was like, well, I'm like, what about if I get a home warranty? It's $1,200 a year, but it'll cover all my appliances, my heating and cooling system and other things too, I think. And my husband's like, why don't you just stick $100 a month in the bank account? And if something happens, then you have the money. So I don't know. Heating systems are expensive.
That's that actually is a pretty freaking good idea. I think at my house, the condition of things, like I had already the boiler's 5 years old, the hot water tank's brand new, the electric was just like the things that are done, it doesn't really make sense. But on some of these rentals, the warranty just makes so much sense because you don't know what's going to go wrong and you don't know what people are going to do. But at your house to have a little emergency fund for stuff like that, if your boiler's old though and it goes, your $100 a month is not going to do anything. Now, I do want to ask you this though on the dishwasher. How much is a brand new dishwasher?
I want to say they're like around 1,200,
Are
six
they
to
really?
1,200.
They're that
I I
expensive,
I
huh?
I want to say at least 600 to I've seen them over 1,200, but then the cost to install them and stuff like that too. So I'm like,
Oh,
but here's the thing is if something's wrong with the dishwasher, which I've had something every single year, something has gone wrong with it, whether it's usually like the arm breaks off inside. As far as I know, have hard water. I had it tested and the guy said I had a lot of iron in the water. So I technically should have like a water softening system. My son tested it in his science class and said we had the purest water out of all the kids in school. So that's,
No way.
yeah. So I don't know what he did, but I don't know if he did it right. I had an actual, he's like, but mom, the guy you had to come and test it, do they sell the equipment that you'd have to buy if, I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, then that's why your numbers came up high. This is my 16-year-old telling me that.
Hot
So
boy.
I don't know.
So we used to know this guy that used to replace boilers, and what he would do, his scam was he used to have the CO2 reader, the
hmm
carbon monoxide reader, and he would have it preset to say it was above limits. So his scam
Really?
would go in. Well, he tried to pull this shit at my father, and my father called the fire department immediately when the kid was in his truck. So now the fire department shows up, and they pretty much, suddenly he remembered what button to push. Yeah. Yeah. The reason I asked
Oh,
about the
that's
dishwasher, I'm not allowed to have a use the dishwasher in my house. We have one. It's sitting there. It's never been turned on. 5 years.
what?
I've 5 years I've been hand washing dishes because my little dog is scared of running water.
Oh my God.
So he's scared
No,
of
we use that thing every day. Sometimes we like with holidays and stuff multiple times. Like I never had a dishwasher until we moved here, and it has been a godsend.
well, we used to have one in the last house. Then we got the dog, and the dog has like he'll start shaking uncontrollably. So we just don't use it. Even when we do
That's
laundry, we gotta shut like two doors because if he hears the water going into the washing machine, he'll start shaking and shit. It's crazy.
oh my God. That's crazy. Here's a
Yeah.
question for you. So
Yeah.
my mom was outside my multifamily in Connecticut, and like now my driveway over there is horrendous. So this is about a week ago. Like like when you're picture driving through snow and you've got the tire marks in the snow and the middle's a hump, right?
Yeah.
Well, my
Yeah.
driveway is like that. It's a long driveway and it's like that. And then I have a big parking area in the back. It's got a dumpster and a three-car garage. It's a good amount of room back there. So a guy that was doing work in the area stopped by and he's like, hey, I can give you a really good price on like um crack filling and seal coating the driveway, and I can even
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
rid of
Yeah.
some of
Oh,
these
I'm
humps
interested in
and
this.
stuff
I
like
need
that.
this. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, so I was like, okay, like, I've gotten prices before. So here's what I've gotten for prices. Probably about 4 or 5 years ago, I got a price to rip up everything, put down everything that you see it put down and put brand new. It was like 12 grand. I was like, well, I don't have that in the budget. Then another company gave me a price to come in with refurbished asphalt, lay it down, smooth it all out, and get rid of all the bumps and stuff like that for like $7,500. I was like, that's a good price, but I don't have the money in my budget right now. So the guy, he reaches out to me. He's like, if you get this done like right away, he's like, I'll do it for you for like really cheap. And it was going to be like 5 grand, but he's like, well, you live on a main road. If I can put my sign out there, I'll, how about, what would work for you? I'm like, well, if you can do it for a couple $1,000s, now I'm thinking, refurbished asphalt. That's what it sounded like. He's like, yeah, we use recycled asphalt and I'll smooth out the bumps as much as I can. It won't be perfect. So I was like, all right, $3,200. I was like, that's great. That's amazing. I'll jump right on it. I will find money somewhere to do it. So they do it the
Mm-hmm.
other day and I go and I'm looking and I'm like, I was in property management for 20 years and I hired people to crack fill and seal coat the driveway. Now, usually the crack fill is like the rubberized stuff and it's supposed to be like
Yeah.
all even with the pavement. So I go in and I'm like, there's no crack fill in any of these cracks. And now I have like the spider stuff all over the driveway. It's old. I haven't touched it since I bought it in 2020 and it wasn't in great shape. And there's like divots. And I could see where he used asphalt to fill in some of the spots. But I was like, I don't know. And he was coming for me to meet up to pay him. And I was like, I'm not, he's like, it's guaranteed for 4.5 years after I do it. So I was like, so he comes and I was like, well, it doesn't look like you put anything in the cracks at all. And so he shows me, he's like, I got this, and it's like a powder, like a sand made with asphalt, right? And he takes the
Mm-hmm.
bucket and he's like, this is what I put on it. And he fills the cracks because some areas you could see that it's filled, but most of the areas like it wasn't. He's like, it might have just been because it absorbed a lot of it. So he went over some of it again. And I was like, and he's like, but don't worry. He's like, if it's not good enough, I'll come back. He's like, I'll probably come by on like Saturday to check it out. He's like, I won't put my signs out in the front until like we make sure it looks good. So he puts down more stuff and then goes over it with the seal coating stuff again. Cause it basically just looks like they seal coated over everything and didn't put the crack filler in it.
Right,
But
right.
here I am thinking it's gonna be the refurbished asphalt, like, and I'm getting it half the price of what the other guy was gonna do it for me, right? You get it all rolled out and stuff. And I'm looking, it's all uniform one color, but there's so many cracks in it. So even yesterday I was picking up my mom and I was like, it still just doesn't look great. So I want to call him because I don't know, have you had stuff like that done in your own driveway?
Well, I own the street. I'm embarrassed to I should turn the camera, but I own the street. So past the gate, I had to redo it, but I had to rip it up to the dirt.
Yeah.
My part of the driveway past the gate, that's what I want, but I'm worried that someone's going to do a shitty job because I feel like I can get that rubberized tar and do it myself. Like, I don't feel like you need to be a special person to fill a crack with some tar.
No, like I looked and saw what they did, and he just took powder, like the asphalt powder, and then he has a machine with like it almost looks like a smoker on the back of the trailer, and he heats it up and he's spraying hot asphalt sealer kind of stuff on it. So I was like, okay, I could see multiple layers and stuff like that. I'm like, but the quote itself said to get rid of any divots, make it level and and coat it. And I'm like, I'm not super impressed with it. And I'm like, I did pay him because I'm
That's
like, I'm gonna take his word. He's
when you go with the look and it's you trying to cut corners. They're trying, you know what I mean? You're trying to cut a corner on price. He's trying to cut a corner on materials. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like everyone's trying to cut a corner. So it's like, that's the right way to do it, really, Hollis, is to rip up the whole fucking thing. Like, I know that's what I have to
yeah.
do. And it's probably going to be like $30,000 to do it. And what was your phrase? It's not in the budget right now.
It's
But that's
not.
like the right way to
And
do
but I was like, if I could get another 4.5 years out of it, but I was expecting, like, I have a huge divot in the backyard by the dumpster. And he's like, oh, yeah. He's like, if we come and we redo the driveway and stuff like that, for like an extra $100, we can do that spot. And I'm like, but I thought you said it was going to be even. So I'm kind of like, in one way, I'm frustrated. And the other way, I'm like, okay, well, it'll probably last 4.5 years. And at least it's kind of filled, but I want more of the cracks filled than what's filled. So if he does have to come back, I mean, it didn't take them very long. Like they backed into the driveway. He literally sprinkled the powder and then sprayed it with the hose. I'm like, but that's not entirely what I was expecting. His quote said everything would be level, crack filled, and seal coated. And I'm just like, I'm not entirely impressed with it. And I'm like, I'm the kind of person that if I'm impressed with something, I'm going to share your information everywhere. But I kind of feel like I was slighted and I don't know. It was a super cheap price. So that's why I'm like, but the quote itself said, clean the surface area, fill all the cracks so that they're level and seal coat and fill any divots and seal coat the driveway.
it. It sounds like he just threw some sand in the cracks, barely, and then started spraying his sealer.
Mm.
Mm,
So I'm trying to figure out, but he's telling me that that stuff is better than the actual like rubberized seal coater that
why?
like the
Yeah, but the
I don't
rubber
know.
will fill the crack.
Hmm.
Like,
And this stuff, he filled the crack with it, but he's like, well, the pressure of the sealer when I put it on blew some of it out or it absorbed in. So I'm like, I feel like, but he said he's going to check it again on Saturday and
but
then let me know if he needs to redo it.
I mean, it's not my line of work, but I feel like if I want a crack filled and you fill it and then it blows away, then you didn't fill it,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
okay,
And
so
some
it was filled
areas,
for a second and then it's not filled anymore. I don't know.
some areas were filled and I was like, okay, this is what it almost looked like when you walk on the tracks and they're kind of spongy.
Yeah,
Yeah, so some of those areas when they filled, it kind of felt like that. And I was like, okay, that makes sense to me. They're filled, it's got but I feel like he's gonna need to come back. And I'm like, I kind of want to tell him, what about this big giant hole that's by my dumpster that you didn't, even if he has me pay him an extra $100 for it, I'd rather have it filled than have a giant hole in my yard. And he did fill in like a couple spots in that, how I said when you drive, like where the tires go, but
yeah.
nowhere near what I was thinking it was going to be, especially because the price I got from the other people was like $7,500 to relay over recycled asphalt over my driveway. So that's what I thought I was getting.
So they were going to go. The other people were going to go right over what you have,
Hmm.
and then run it over with that big heavy thing to make it as level as they can make it.
Yeah.
Oh, you wouldn't have had any.
Yeah. So now this guy is telling me in order to do that, it's going to be another $5,000. I'm like, but now I've already paid you $3,200. That's going to be over $8,000. Where, I mean, granted, this was a few years ago. I got the price. Materials could have gone up, but I'm like, I could have just had the other people do it and then been done, you know?
Now I'm end up paying
So,
you more.
yeah, but it's a family-owned business. It's third generation. It was three brothers that came out, and I feel like talking to them, I feel like genuinely they feel like they're going to stand by it. But I looked at it and I was kind of like, when your heart just goes, ugh.
Like that's not what I wanted. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, not what I was expecting, So I was hoping for better. So hopefully they'll come back and feel the same way and be like, oh, no, 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 we got to fix this up for you and do it better.
We had that with the pool. My pool was leaking, so we had I don't know. It was like a guy and his son and his son's friend. And the guy's been in the pool business. His son's trying to learn it or whatever. His son's in high school. We drain the pool. The guy fixes the leak. I'm very happy.
Hmm.
And he's like, okay, we got to paint it now because they pressurized, washed it, and looked for any other kind of whatever they did. We're gonna paint it, and the guy doesn't come back. His son comes back and paints it. His son painted like a blind drunk person. Like there's drips. If you're in my pool, you can see where they like just splattered the paint and it dripped. Now, I had paint in my pool when we bought the house the inside. I mean, when it's yours, you take pride in it, right? This looks
Hmm.
so bad, and because water is clear, I am constantly looking at the shitty craftsmanship, and it bothers me so much. And I almost wanted to pool again just to paint over it, but that's a lot of work.
So is your pool all concrete?
Yeah,
Is that what
it's
it is?
another word. It's not. It is concrete, but there's another word for it. It starts with a G. I can't say it or spell it.
Yeah, because
But
I get confused because I've been to other people's houses. One of my clients had, actually, the one your client bought, it has that in-ground pool in the back, but there was a leak and they hired a scuba diver to come out and fix the leak. So it was an in-ground pool, but there was a liner in it.
yes, a lot of people have liners. I don't have a liner.
Yours is just concrete. So how was it leaking out? Was there was a crack and it was just
It
kind
was in
of
the bottom. It was in the bottom. So in the bottom, there's a drain. I don't know. I don't know how it drains or whatever, but there was a drain in the bottom, and that drain had a crack in it.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, it just
I have
stuck
nothing.
with me.
The pool. Hopefully this year is good. We just opened it up. Um, the pool has been a quite an adventure. Now my father's had a pool my whole life. We always had a pool. My father will open the pool middle of April. One day you can swim it, the next day done.
Oh wow.
I open the pool. I'm fighting this thing. I'm fighting cloudy water. I'm fighting this. I'm fighting that. I'm forever fighting with this pool.
Hmm.
Where, I don't know if it was last year or the year before. I printed all this shit on how to turn your pool into like grass, and I put it on the counter. And like you can't just fill it in with dirt. You got to drain holes. Otherwise, it won't. Otherwise, you'll flood.
Oh.
But I looked up all the stuff to do, and then I said pretty much I'm gonna fill the pool, and I'm putting a folding chair right in the middle, and that's where I read from now on. And let's just say that didn't go over too well with the children.
No,
You know,
I could see that. No, I opened mine what 2 weeks ago. Nobody's gone in it yet. We haven't put the stairs in it. Here's something though. I again, when you feel like you're like, did I get taken advantage of, or so I open the pool. I, put the chemicals in, and I'm like using little test strips. And I feel like I probably need new test strips because mine did sit outside in the bin over the winter, and they seem kind of faded. But I'm
mm-hmm.
like, the numbers are not too bad. The stabilizer was definitely not where it needed to be. My chlorine was fine, my alkalinity was fine, my pH and my pH was a little low, right? So I go to the pool store and I bring the water sample, and they give me the biggest, giantest bin of alkalinity increaser stuff. And then they give me an alkalinity reducer, like a pH reduce, like something, right? So it was like 70 something bucks. I'm like, okay. I'm like, my alkalinity, according to my strips, was fine. Why are you giving me this giant thing. And they like put the whole thing in and then put this whole thing in, because when you put this in, it's going to make it too much. Like, why don't you just tell me to put so much of this one in versus putting the whole thing in and then trying to offset it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
now I do that and I'm checking it and I'm like, now my alkalinity seems like it's too high. And I'm just like, I just feel like they just have to sell you stuff.
Especially right now, it's their hot side, their season time where they can just sell anything because everybody wants to go in their pool.
Yeah. I hate
We
feeling like I'm getting
had
food.
it was saltwater. It was a saltwater pool, and that was like the thing. People love this saltwater pool bullshit. I went right back to chlorine. One summer with the saltwater, I'm going right back to chlorine, man. I jumped.
Really?
Yeah, that saltwater stuff is a mess. It had problems with the filter reading. It had problems with this. It had problems with that. I'm dumping in bags of sand. Now, I'm not a weightlifter, but still a grown man, right? I can carry as much chlorine as I need to carry. Those bags of freaking sand, I felt like I was building the pyramids with this shit, like lugging bags of salt into the bag. I call it sand because it's like a bag of sand. But you dump it in, it wouldn't dissolve right, and then the panel wouldn't read it right. One time it's telling me I had none in there after I just put it in. And you know what? Chlorine, you dump 2 gallons in before you go to bed, you're done. Done.
Yeah, I thought that the salt was set it and forget it.
Yeah, bullshit. Nothing said it and
Huh.
forget it. Bullshit. That's what they tell you, though. That's what
Yeah.
they tell you. You know, I wanted
I
to touch
try to
on
make
something
it.
real quick. In Did you see the news out of Providence where they built a bunch of affordable housing units? They built like
I,
550 affordable housing units, and they just did an audit of the situation.
those little tiny ones, right? Like you literally fit like a person or two people in it.
Yes. Do you know those cost more to build by the city? That they could have built 3 to 1 if like a regular builder built them compared to what the Rhode Island housing spent on those things.
I had heard that. Do you know?
Rhode
Do you
Island
remember what the numbers
housing,
are?
the building costs. Now, if I build a house and it costs me $500,000 to build, that's going to be a $1.2 million house.
Mm-hmm.
They're building these things for 550,000, and they're not even worth that much, and they can't get anybody to go in there.
They're building at 550,000 a piece. They're little boxes. I saw on Amazon you could buy those houses for $12,000
I
last
think
year.
they put a number of them together, and that's what they're calling a building. But they can't fill them because the income restrictions are so low that really they're targeted for the homeless.
Mm-hmm.
But what people don't understand is the homeless people don't want to live there. They just don't want to. So no one can meet the income requirements, and there's no like middle class option. So they're just sitting there vacant at the tune of $500,000 a whack. I was so frustrated when I read that. Like that, you could build.
Did it really cost that much? Like
Yeah,
they're
that's what the audit.
tiny.
That's what the audit said. Maybe we're thinking of two different things. But these are low
Maybe.
income. These are low income housing units. I'll send you the article on Projo, and you could post it underneath this video. But pretty much what the auditors found is if they had just subbed it out to a private builder, they could have been done in like one. But because we're not decided they're going to become the friggin' builders, contractors, judge, and jury, they didn't understand how to build them. It cost them $500,000 a whack for these things, and no one's living there. They have like 92% vacancy rate right now.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
Know what things would you be like? And where
There's
does the
so
money
much
come
effort
from for
going
that?
into taxes.
That's
Where's
what
the
I
money come
thought.
from? The government doesn't do bake sales; they do tax extortion. That's what they do. They have people with guns, right? They're called the IRS, and if you don't give them their money, they steal it.
You're gonna get us in trouble. So this is all allegedly. Allegedly.
Allegedly, I'm not alleging
Allegedly.
nothing. The IRS got guns. They take your taxes. Then the government blows it on building low income housing, and then you wonder why. And then you wonder. But really, it's just a lot of these communities in that I don't I'm saying that in a joking way, but it really is true. The government doesn't sell widgets; they steal taxes. And what they're doing now is if they're going to get into the building business for these low income houses, I understand if you want to make zoning changes. Like in Johnston, we're going through a lot right now because somebody proposed to build, I don't know, 200 affordable units, but a mile away from my house. And of course, we had community meetings and whatnot, and it got shot down. They're gonna do something else with it. But I understand these towns want more housing, The reason they want more housing is so they can have more people. More people mean more taxes, right? But if the government's going to become the builders, that's a problem. Like the town council doesn't know the first thing about building anything. So when you got people that don't know what they're doing, trying to do something like stay in their lane, I'd be much better off if they hired a reputable builder that's built. You know, there's builders, you know the names, they're all around. They're the people that build the houses.
Mm-hmm.
Just hire the freaking people. Don't get cute. Don't auction it off, because what they do is they auction it off to the lowest bidder and it ends up coming in 3 times the cost. And that kind of ties into like your driveway. Sometimes you go
Yeah.
into the lowest bidder and it ends up costing you more in the end. In
Yeah.
this case, we're talking about housing. Their heart's in the right place, but stupid.
Yeah, it doesn't work out very good. That's frustrating.
It is. I'll tell you what's frustrating. You ever have this? You ever see a house that was too good to be true on the price, and you find out that like they built a neighborhood and they had to have so many low income ones?
Oh, yeah. And you don't qualify for it because you have to have a
Their
certain.
client is like, "Oh my god, I found this house." Cranston has a lot of that for whatever reason. I found this house in Cranston, and look at the neighborhood it's in, and it's only 375. And you look, and you're like, "Yeah, that's not it. Either it's going to be income restricted or it's falling down, darling." And then you find out, and those income limits, they stick to them. You can't be a dollar over.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they're definitely helpful for certain people that it meets the requirement for, but yeah, it's tough. I had another agent in our office referred some of their clients to me. They're still helping them in Rhode Island and Massachusetts, but asked me to help them in Connecticut because the pricing in Rhode Island and Massachusetts is they're kind of priced out. It's hot. You get a lot more house for the money in Connecticut. So they send me a property and I look at it. I'm like, it's beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. It's something that would go for like, I don't know, 500 something over here, and it was under $400,000 over there. But then I look and I'm like, why does it say there's no acres? Like there's no acres on it. And
Oh,
so
is it
coming to
least?
look into it, well, it's not even leased land. The house is built on a builder's land, so it's almost like a condo. So there, but she didn't call them standalone condos. It's a house, it's got a backyard, but the land that's there is owned by the builder. So like they take care of the cutting the grass, the snow plowing and stuff like that. So it's like a condo, but they don't call it a condo. And they're like, "Oh no, we definitely don't want that because you literally don't own the land." So weird.
That is weird. That sounds like a leased land situation, but you're not leasing the land.
No, it's more like a
You're
condo.
not renting the house. You're paying a mortgage,
Yep, you buying the
but you
house.
don't own it. It is a condo. Yeah, you don't
Yeah,
own the ground.
it's just like a condo, but they're individual house units.
Wow, wow.
So it's a way to save money. I mean, if you pay your HOA, which really wasn't that bad, and that covers the landscaping and the snow removal. So if that's your thing, that's your thing. But I looked, and a lot of the other houses, they had fences around the yards and all that great stuff. Um, but
So
you don't
so
own it.
as you drive by, you would not know. You would think you're in a neighborhood.
Yeah.
I can see a lot of upside in that for a certain kind of buyer.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody that doesn't want to do maintenance on their
Yeah,
lawn or
you,
the snow
you get
removal. It's
a
perfect.
little older. Instead of going in a condo, you still feel like you own the house. I mean, technically, you own the house. That's a bitch on the resale, but I that's an interesting concept.
It is. And it helps you get in at a much lower price point. I mean, these were like I said, over here, you're looking at $600,000. Over there, it was under $400,000. And it was only like a couple of years old. Brand, like very new everything. Really nice.
I wonder what happens. I mean, I wonder how that deed looks. We see you own the house. I, I wonder how the deed. I wonder how that. I'd like to look into that. That's an interesting idea. Because what's that? I mean, it's almost like a trailer park. That's kind of what a trailer park does, except they're doing it with a house. Because a trailer park's like, all right, here's our land.
Mm-hmm.
You can have your house here. You own it. You finance it. You maintain it. You do this. You do that. We'll take care of the roads and the grass.
Mm-hmm. Isn't
Wow,
that crazy?
it is.
But I had never come across that before.
I never have either. I always wanted to buy a trailer park to the point where I was driving. I was driving through them. I went through a phase where I was driving through a trailer park like once a week. I think it's a good investment.
I don't think it's a bad investment at all. I actually have to skedaddle, so I'm gonna tell everybody. Was there anything else you wanted to say before we go?
No, like and subscribe though. Like and subscribe.
Yeah,
Uh,
we're doing pretty good. Oh, I will mention, so it's not active yet, but I did actually get us a website domain, the legit real estate podcast at G no, that's our email. I got us the legit real estate podcast.com. So I will be getting that up and running at some point. So all of our stuff will be in one place. But for right now, you can find us everywhere you listen to your podcasts. If you can't find us, let us know. Please, please, please check us out on YouTube, like, subscribe, check us out on what's the other on TikTok and follow us there. Like, you'll get our
Tell you
content
what,
and
if we get to 50,000 views, we'll go twice a week.
you think so? I think that's a good idea.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I like that idea.
if we
And
get
it's
if we get to a number, if we get to a number and we're growing, and we appreciate the people growing with us, we get to another number, we'll go twice a week. That's one. Two, I was showing my kid this morning on the way to the car about. I was like, look how many people watch Daddy's podcast, and he's like, you're so boring though.
I sent my kid a screenshot too because my kids make fun of me all the time and they're like you don't do, you messed up with this, you shouldn't do this for content. You pick the songs that it just tells you. I'm like, I don't know. I just throw it out there. And then so I sent him a screenshot of like the metrics over the last so many days on YouTube or whatever and he's like, "Good job, mom." So I don't know. We're trying. But here's something I want to get feedback on too. Let us know. I mean, I keep telling everybody, please send us your stories. Let us know if you want to be on the show or write in the stories. I really do want people to write in their stories, and they can send them to the legit real estate podcast at gmail.com. If we get enough feedback on this, I recently, one of the podcasts I listened to started a hotline and people
Ooh,
call in and tell the stories over the phone on a message thing. I want to
ooh,
know what people think of that.
I like that a lot.
I like the idea, but I don't want to go through the trouble of getting it started if it's
And
not
then
something people want.
right,
So I want to
we should put a
know.
poll up, and the next month we'll
Yeah.
do a poll.
All right, we'll do
That
that.
would
And
be
I want
fun.
to know
I'd love to.
comments.
Yeah, and people can come on anonymously, so they don't have to put their face out there. We won't read their name or
Mhm.
nothing. You just come on, ask a question, tell us a story. I like the stories better.
I do. I wish more people would write in for them. So,
All
yeah.
right,
So I got
you
to go
have a
now, but you have a great day.
bye bye.
Bye.